All right. What's up, Big Josh?
Not
J
much.
Door, JDX, HTX, Joshua Doran, Big Josh. All of them. Fairway Frenchies. What's up, dude?
Not much.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Today, we're going to talk about your business, Fairway Frenchies. Customer myself with old Luke Duke.
Yeah.
Beautiful dogs, but just about the business as a breeder and everything, man. I mean, massive surge in popularity with Frenchies, right? So, I mean, just discuss the recent rise of the French Bulldogs. It is the most popular dog breed in the U.S. now. They win the Best in Show recently? One of those football players had that badass Frenchie that won last year. I think it was last year. Maybe it was a couple, but no, it's been recent.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, tell us a little bit about it, how you got into the business and how it's going.
No, the rise of the popularity of Frenchies has been over the last 10 years. It's just, they just keep going, up.
To the moon, baby.
They really surged through COVID, I feel, when everybody was sitting at home. We weren't going to work. You like to have that friend there. You like to have a little extra and
Companion.
you have time for a dog too.
That's true.
You have a lot more time if you're at home. But Frenchies, they're great apartment dogs. They don't require a lot of work like other dogs. You don't have to a 10-minute walk, and their little legs, they're tired out.
Yeah, they are.
You don't
They
have
are.
to-
That's true.
Like these other working dogs, you don't have to go 3 or 5 miles with them.
Yeah.
You go around the block twice, and they're tired and they're laying down.
No kidding. Yeah, for sure.
So it's it's been good to see. Frenchie breeding has become super popular too. You've seen the market just go from hard to find the dog you want to saturated with dogs.
Yeah.
The prices on them range from. I mean,
You've experienced both of those scopes of the market too,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. I hit the COVID boom, and I was selling dogs for $5,000, $7,500. And those were standard Frenchies.
That's just basic price. That's your introductory level price.
That wasn't the fluffies. That wasn't the floodles or the the hairless ones that they all have now. So that's
Those
just
things look like a ball sack.
your standard. Yeah, I don't like those.
I just put an
They
image
call
in
them,
everyone's head.
they call them velvets. They're calling them velvets. So
Velvets.
Their hair is just super short.
What is this, velvet? Nice.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was a really good time. It was definitely, I'd say, the best time for me with sales and just customers and stuff like that. Now I just have to reach out on different platforms to promote the dogs and get everybody to see them.
Gotcha. Well, and I mean, that kind of goes right into that next question of, you had mentioned all these different types, right?
My gosh.
So
Yeah.
it's like, once the market's saturated, now you're just trying to almost, create or your own uniqueness by traits, right? So
Yeah.
health concerns and ethical breeding. I mean, I know you've always been a proponent of that and
Yep.
don't want to extend your reach, but I mean, address some of the common health issues associated with French Bulldogs. And then, their obstructive airways, whatnot.
That's a big one.
You've walked me through a couple of times of some small issues that, I had right out of the gate I own two myself, Lily and Luca. But, the issues that are common, some of the unethical practices, I mean, that you see that buyer beware kind of thing.
Sure. Definitely the airways are one of the main concerns for them. Quality of life and their ability to breathe and sleep, which you can kind of tell by looking at them, looking at the space in between the nostrils if they're going to need the surgery, which I think it's only about $2,000 to get that done.
Only
for them to
when it's your dog,
once you're spending,
it's a family member.
You're spending more than that on the dog anyway.
Sure.
And that's the thing about Frenchies, you have to be ready for that investment and what comes along with them. It's not, otherwise, I have people saying, "Oh, do you take $500 for this dog?" I said,
Yeah,
maybe you'd be better off adopting.
Yeah.
But no, their nasal passages are definitely a concern. Spinal issues, IVDD is a big one. Where
IVDD.
Yeah, they lose. What is that? I believe it is when one of the discs gets pinched or something, and they lose all movement in their back legs.
So that's common in like
just
wiener dogs too.
Yeah. So Frenchies,
That's from like activity.
It's from activity.
Yeah,
So
jumping.
We try not to let them
couches
jump off
and
the
stuff.
back of the couches.
Yep,
It's terrible for them. People have like off your beds if you let them up there. A lot of people have
Get 'em a
ramps
little
or
stair.
steps,
Yeah.
just something to help them because they're little balls of muscle, dude. They're heavy. They're anywhere
Dude,
from
Luca's
15
dense,
15
boy.
to 40 pounds, and they're dense. So that puts a lot of stress on that little spine of theirs.
Yeah.
When they're jumping.
Okay.
So that's a concern. Allergies are always a concern with Frenchies. I mean, you have that with other dogs too. But I think those are kind of the three main ones.
Now the allergies, is that like a direct result of some of these breeding methods, do you think?
I don't know if it's so much of that. It can be from, where they live, what's in their yard, what they're feeding their dog. Kind of all these different things can add up to, cause allergies. Where you live. If you're in a state like Texas or Austin's really bad for allergies. Cedar's terrible.
God.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get out of that city.
They're just like us. How many people, how many humans have allergies? It's, it's the same way. But usually give them a Benadryl, they're good. Otherwise, you can go to the vet and they'll give them other stuff. Prednisone, I think, is what they give for really bad allergies. So,
I mean, dude, you're obviously rattling off these terms that are just so as far as, I mean, you as a breeder, I mean, you keep close contact with all your clients, and I mean, you're probably a good go-to source of information for them.
Yeah,
so.
If they work with me and purchase a dog through me, I tell them any time of the day, call or text me if you have issues, if you have questions, concerns, because they're spending money with you, and you're going to be there. You're going to be there for them because because that's word of mouth. I had 3 people this week just hit me up.
Really?
From one of my other previous sales and say, hey, we're looking for a puppy, and so how you deal with your customers and take care of them and answer their questions, it'll all come back to you. And
God bless the power of a referral, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
100%. So I'd say part of the growth has been just the impact of social media and then the celebrity endorsements.
Oh yeah.
Examine how platforms like Instagram and endorsements from celebrities have amplify the breed's popularity.
Oh man, I mean, a perfect example. Kendrick Perkins, Big Perk. He's huge into the Frenchie game.
Okay.
And he works with my friend Simon and their Bulldogs and their Frenchies. DeAndre Hopkins has a dog named Monopoly that one of my friends co-owns.
No way.
Yeah, he's a fluffy Rojo and tan Merle, beautiful dog. Zeke.
Yeah.
Zeke Elliott has 3 fluffy Frenchies that he got from the big breeders in Dallas, Aaron and Jay.
Okay.
So it's you see them all over. Lady Gaga, when her dogs got stolen, big reward. They're just The Rock has Frenchie or 2.
Wow.
Ryan Sheckler. So all these celebrities, everybody's seeing them, and they're you see their little personalities on their videos, and they're goofy and they're cute, and they get their little zoomies for 10 minutes. So yeah, it's really helped drive the popularity up, I think.
And my favorite is, what is it, Winston the Frenchie, or wait, the one?
Oh, the one that howls.
No. What did he do that? I don't know, Dad. Why is he going over there? Oh, hey, no, I'm not a bully. You're a bully.
I haven't seen Winston.
Dude, oh my gosh. So my daughter, she loves. It was funny, I mean, with these Frenchies, they snore, they fart, but she absolutely adores just making reels with these dogs because they're like pliable clay. They'll just sit there wherever you put them, and they'll just give you that face,
dress them up.
Yeah, and so they're pretty chill when it does come to that point where it's like, they'll play along, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and so you know, you mentioned a bunch of like breeds or I guess strands, whatever. What do you call it? Like, but you were saying like fluffy, poodle.
Yeah.
So I mean, like with the emergence of these, the trend of creating these designer breeds, such as the controversial polka dot Frenchie and the ethical considerations surrounding these practices. I mean, what's your take on it?
You know, as long as you're doing your
Our neighbor just bought a Ferrari. You can hear it.
as long as you're doing your due diligence on doing the four panel health tests,
Okay.
and getting your dogs cleared for anything.
Tell me about this 4-panel.
It's just a small blood test,
Okay.
and it can detect what kind of DNA
They
what
carry.
what all markers they have, so you know if they carry a copy of Merle or a copy of cocoa or testable chocolate. You know if they carry like these new ones are the flutels, so you know if they carry the the L1, the L4 gene, or the the curly gene for the poodles. So it's and then that's how you go about kind of finding which way you want to go with your breed. You can do standard Frenchies are still going to be the most popular and most affordable.
Yeah.
Fluffies, velvets, flutels, they're kind of the new wave.
Okay.
The flutels are going to be your hypoallergenic, super tight curls, just like a poodle, but with the structure and personality of a Frenchie.
Wow.
Which I'm just
Because
starting.
poodles are kind of annoying dogs, you know.
Some people love them.
Yeah, some people love them. No, but so that kind of, I guess, kind of goes into the reaction of a saturated market. People were, kind of creating their own identity or uniqueness, and so you kind of see it evolve, right? I mean, just like anything else.
The money was so good. Everybody wanted to jump in. Everybody wanted to try to be a breeder.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of dwindling down because
Of course.
it's hard to maintain that in a market that's saturated and prices are down.
Sure.
So
Because when you're budgeting, I mean, because now explain to me the whole process, because I mean, I've seen you do it and it's crazy. Like, I didn't know what the word whelp meant until I met you, And, so it's like you're seeing these processes, and I mean, like it's not as glamorous as people think the social media videos
it's not
are.
all everybody. You see everybody flexing in the cars and the jewelry and stuff. It's not all glamorous like that.
No.
There's time that they don't show they're covered in dog poop, and you know, it's just it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, especially if you're doing it on your own. The time you have to spend from the time they're first born, for the first 2 weeks, you have to be up and feed them every 2 hours, every 2.5 hours.
It's like having a baby.
It's like having a baby.
But 8 of them.
And with Frenchies, they're not really strong. Their immune system isn't strong till they're about 4 or 5 weeks. They can't regulate their own body temperature. So, you got to have a clean work environment. You got to keep them clean all the time.
Keep them warm.
Dry. Keep them the right temperature, the right humidity. And stay on your feedings. And the big thing with Frenchies is they aspirate a lot, which aspirate is, when they're drinking milk, it comes out their nose.
Okay.
And that's aspiration. And if you don't get all that milk out of their nose, that will go back down into their lungs and cause aspiration pneumonia, which is one of the main causes of death.
Oh my gosh.
With newborn Frenchies. Yeah.
Geez. So you're using like those little suckers?
You do have like a little baby sucker. I have like 3 different varieties. I have the old school one with the big ball in the end. You just suck out. That's real good for the back of their throat too. So there's any milk left in there that can still come up into their nasal passage. Yeah. So I use that. When they're first born, I use a handheld one, and then I have a big industrial one that you see in doctors' offices and vets for the hard stuff to get out of there.
Yeah.
If it sound like paper crackling in there, then
it's
a lot. It's a lot,
and it's probably created a lot of industry too. I mean, like whelpers is like their own kind of thing.
Yeah, that's because some of these
DNA
people,
storage, like semen storage. I mean, like you were telling me about. Like
we had talked about that before.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy.
Why not?
You know,
especially and now they're a friend of mine who lost one of his prize English bulldogs is now looking into cloning the old, the version they took the DNA and the samples they needed from him, and now they're going to try to clone that dog back to get their stud back.
Really?
So, and that costs like $50,000, I think.
Oh my gosh.
So, but that's his vision, that's his dog, that's his line, that's his brand.
Yeah.
So he's obviously going to, fight to keep it going.
Yeah.
So,
And so it sounds like the breeders, I mean, is it a pretty tight knit community? Or is it supportive, or is it kind of? Tell me a little bit about that industry.
Everybody's, there's
lone wolves. What?
There's some of everything. There's some breeders that'll be super supportive and share some tips and tricks with you if you meet up with them. And I'm lucky to have joined a really good and successful team that I work with, and I can take my dogs to a vet here in Richmond, Pro Canine.
Yeah.
They're a vet that specializes in breeding.
Okay.
And especially like Frenchies and bullies and stuff like that, they really specialize in that. Some of the vets don't necessarily love breeders or like to help in that area. Just their ethic, just their kind of what they believe in. They feel like there's too many dogs out here. They'd rather adopt.
That's right, because they're looking for
they don't want to overpopulate or oversaturate stuff, but
and then the unfortunate parts of breeding is loss, right?
Yeah, loss, or people who don't going back to more sanitary health concerns. If you don't keep it sanitary, they can get upper respiratory infections. I can tell by looking at a dog if they're kept in a kennel with the slats on the bottom, because their feet develop differently.
Oh, really?
They don't. It's almost like there's like a joint in there.
And is that a good or bad way?
It's a bad thing. That's
okay.
A bad thing.
The bad thing is the slats.
That's a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So what do you recommend?
Because when they're developing, that's when those bones and stuff are the most softest. And if they're having to falling down in between those slats in a kennel, that's going to shape their feet differently.
Really?
And they're almost going to have a bigger,
like a bow
foot. Yeah. They're
stance. It alters their stance altogether.
It does.
Interesting.
It does. So, I like solid bottom whelping pens.
Slide out, to wash them off and stuff too. That's
or my setup. It's straight on the epoxy floor in the garage, and you just move the whelping box, pressure wash, sanitize, move the whelping box back in, and
got it,
and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, to me, it's stuff like that I didn't even think of, right?
Dude,
and
there's so many different styles. When I first started, I whelped in a $5 baby pool from PetSmart.
Yeah.
And now I have this awesome incubator.
Yep.
And these whelping pens that just I upgraded the setup to
sure
to
grow. You grew with your business.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
How many litters have you professionally produced?
Oh gosh, we got to be in the 30 to 40
dogs.
Probably.
Or
litters, 30 to 40 litters.
So how many dogs do you think?
Oh gosh, over 100.
Over 100.
Over 100 dogs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And they can have a litter. Frenchies are the type of dog where you can have a single or you can have 10.
So you just don't know.
You just don't know. Well, you can do ultrasounds.
Yeah, you do the ultrasound
when they're over like 34 days after the TCI or AI or natural breeding, whatever you do. Somebody else can do natural, but.
So what is the turnaround time like from pregnant to
from the day you do your first insemination? It's anywhere from 59 days to 63.
So it's only a couple months.
You're gonna be right in that area.
Gotcha.
Yep. And you in order.
And you hold on to them for another 2 months, right? About 8 weeks.
Yep. Until they, you do worm them about 3 times, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. You can do it at 10. It's not gonna hurt them. But they're usually ready to sell after they get their first set of vaccinations. Their DDHP, their parvo, distemper, all that stuff.
Got it.
But sometimes you want to hold on to them longer to see how they're going to develop.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have held on to Mr. Luca longer because he turned out to be one of the best, like structurally sound dogs I've produced. Like,
I know.
He is just short back.
When are we going to breed him
head.
again, dog? Come on.
We'll see.
Come on.
We'll see.
Luke Duke, he is a handsome, but he is a turd and a half. I'm telling you, that boy's got some attitude. He knows it too, but he's funny. I mean, like
they have their personalities. When,
when
he sticks his head out of the bottom
square.
dude,
that's hilarious. And so also Lily, she's just cookies and cream. She, I'll tell you what she does is, like, say if Sophia or Cooper are crying or upset or sad.
Oh yeah,
she cries.
Sense.
She's like, woo.
Yep.
And so it's like, that makes the kids happy. So they're very sympathetic. You know, one thing, I mean, maybe you can provide me some good insight here because, you know, I've got a pro next to me. We're still kenneling them at night because they just randomly, and they always go back to the same spot too. But they'll just, like Lily, I mean, like if she was out or we forget to put her up or something, she'll just run into the middle of our bed and just piss and then run off.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, that just took away your rights, young lady.
Yeah.
But and then what's funny is Luca, like they have their separate kennels where they eat and whatnot. But like at night, Luca, he's hilarious. He just runs to the bed like around 8 p.m., runs to Lily's kennel and just waits on her.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're better in pairs. I mean, is that what you'd recommend?
Absolutely.
So if you're getting Frenchies, get two.
Some Frenchies get really bad separation anxiety.
They do.
You know, so it's good for them because they form that bond with the other dog too. Doesn't have to be another Frenchie. You know,
you're right. You're right.
You know, it's just them to have a
little
friend
homie
there with. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I think they're always better, like, you know, in twos because I mean Lily and Chloe were kind of, you know, I mean they just don't get along. Like Lily, and Lily is not afraid of her.
yeah.
It is so funny. Like when Chloe gets near her food, she's like
bulldogs too. They're bulldogs. At the end of the day, they're little bulldogs. So
you had spoken earlier, and so you know, to the point, and I think, you know, there's multiple perspectives and benefits of, you know, when you're saying, you know, people offering you or lowballing you for a price. And, adopting versus breeding. I mean, talk about both of them and their benefits. You know, I mean, talk about the adoption benefits.
You know, you're there's so many good dogs that are up for adoption that are going to cost less than owning a Frenchie. You know, you have to be ready for, and even the ones you adopt can have issues too. I had some friends buy a Bernese Mountain Dog, and he had a bunch of stomach issues. His stomach flipped, so I had to do this expensive surgery. But you know, any dog breed can have issues.
Sure.
But Frenchies are known for being a more expensive breed to have as a pet, and you have to be ready for that.
You know, and it's like the guy buying the Ferrari because he has 250,000.
Yeah, but he can't fill it up with gas.
Your oil changes are fucking $5,000 every time, and then you got to put premium in there.
Yeah.
So the upkeep.
Yeah,
right?
your services are you know.
So do you do a good job at, like, you know, laying that out to your buyers?
Yeah, I try to screen them and vet them and FaceTime with them, talk to them, ask them if they've ever owned a Frenchie before.
Yeah, and
just kind of make sure they know what they're getting.
You want
into.
your babies going to a good home too.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to sell to anybody just because of the money. It's not all about the money. It's about going to a good home. You know?
100%.
It's there's been a situation where a friend of mine lost his dog. He had a Frenchie, and he had to get I think he had a collapsed trachea is what the deal was, and he was going in for surgery. And made it through the surgery, but passed away shortly after that.
Yeah,
day after that or so. And he was just
heartbroken.
He was so down. He called me crying, and I said, and he's got another dog, a Boston Terrier, who has he had seizures. So he was worried about the Boston Terrier not having his friend with him every day.
Yeah,
well, he had the seizures.
That's what I was thinking.
So I was like, dude, I said, I have this other male. One of our mutual friends was supposed to take him, but he never did. I said, I know he's going to a good home. Just take him. I know you need it. Like, I know I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about the money. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's nice when you can do something like that.
Yeah, do something like that too.
For somebody who, he'll always remember that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, dude, your knowledge base on it's just so well. Like, I think you should, someday, I mean, take the social media and give tips of the day on these dogs. I think that would be a huge amount of help that people are afraid to reach out, that they may have something going on or I mean, some of these, proactive routines for these dogs could prevent those costly vet trips.
Right. right.
in itself.
Just daily.
And I mean, even
just
diet.
daily.
You did a good job at because I remember right when we got I think it was Luca.
The stomach issues.
He had that reaction, but we were like, but it's good dog food. But you're like, dude, it might try switching it from the chicken to the lamb or the salmon or
or a different dog food in general.
Yeah, and I think the brand that we buy now is the one that you recommended, which was the Pro Plan or whatever.
Yeah. I used Pro Plan for a long time until I switched.
Because the first ingredient's actually what it the protein.
Yes,
corn. Right.
Yeah. No, I switched just because I was going through so much of it.
Yeah.
I needed a cheaper alternative, and what I use now, I love. It seems like their poop doesn't stink as much on it.
Yeah.
So, which is weird.
Which farts don't.
it's the same thing. Yeah. So if I feel like what I feed them now is a
They're
great
digesting
choice.
it faster.
I can get them. It's cheaper. I can get it at the feed store down the street.
Yeah.
I call the owner and say, hey, I need 10 bags.
Good Lord.
He orders Monday. Well, then I don't have to buy for 2 months or 3 months.
Okay.
So he orders Monday. I go pick it up Thursday, and it's
damn.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So you probably got a good relationship with that guy.
Yeah. No, it's
he probably loves you.
The Brookshire Steinhausers. So
Nice.
right down the road, 10 minutes down
there
the road.
you go.
So
what are you seeing? As far as any future trends, because you're dialed into the you got a good pulse of the market, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like as far as just future trends in breeding, and what do you see? What's the next big?
The next big things are big ropes. Big ropes are becoming. They almost look like Shar-Peis. They have a huge. And what the rope is?
A rope is what goes.
A rope is what goes across the top of their nose, the bridge of their nose.
Okay.
And most Frenchies have a little less than quarter-inch one, but my girl Coco has this huge rope. It's like my pinky. The size of my pinky just goes across her nose like that, and she just looks so cute.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a mix of Shar-Pei. It almost looks like.
Okay, yeah, a little Shar-Pei.
But the big ropes are big, fluffies are big, husky kois, which those are just what they sound like. They have husky markings on a Frenchie, same structure as a Frenchie. Pinks.
What's up? So like they're really pink?
Pink. They're not really pink. They just have the pink gene.
Like a pinkish hue?
Yeah, kind of.
That's interesting.
So yeah, those are the new big trends everybody's kind of going for, and everybody's trying to cram all this DNA into one dog. So
tell me about that.
So
like,
that
what's
could be
the backlash there?
So if you, as long as
dangerous.
Like I said before, as long as you can cram genetics in there, as long as they're 4-panel health cleared, they're good that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can that if you have all those genetics in a male, he's your stud. He's your stud for all your camp, all your and if people
Stud fees. Tell me about I know what it is because I have a stud, but
yeah,
like for those that want to buy, and okay, here we go. Like if you were to start out breeding, what would your advice be? Would you lean on the male side or the female side, or are you going to do both? What is that? Tell me how that structure would work.
The easier route would be to have a male, have him just stud out, because then you're not having to deal with whelping litters, and selling puppies and all that. If you have
you got to worry about one dick, not a million.
The big badass stud, like that's all you got to do. You gotta show up at the breeder's place, and they'll take they'll pull them and take the collection, and you're done. You're done. You show up, you skip a day, and you're there the next day too. Is how for breedings, you breed one day, skip a day, and breed again.
Yes. I
So
remember that picture you shared of my boy.
The easier route would be to get a stud, but the thing with that is if you don't have the baddest stud on the market, who's going to want to use him? With so many studs to choose from, everybody's got one.
Yeah.
So
then
it's not guaranteed. Females, you have puppies, you're pretty much guaranteed to sell them. You got a good platform. You can do Hoobly, you can do Craigslist, Instagram, Facebook, AKC, TikTok. I mean, all these other.
They're all out there.
All these other platforms. Yeah. You can post up outside of Starbucks with your little puppy stroller and have, just sit there, drink your coffee and be on your computer and just people are going to come by. The traffic is you know, you're going to see them.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, it's grassroots right there. In itself.
Yeah. Take them out with you. You know, just you got to be careful with these Frenchies because everybody wants to kind of, you know.
Are you leading into like talking about like theft?
Oh yeah, that's big. You got to be. That's huge. That's huge with Frenchies. I mean, you heard it with Lady Gaga. You know, several friends I know have gotten dogs stolen from them. You just have to be careful.
Jeez.
I mean, that goes with anything in this world anymore. You just got to be watching. And you know, there's all these people getting robbed out in California, and you just got to watch what you're doing.
If you're out running around with your dog, just pay attention on the way home. Make sure no one's
that too. Yeah, that's if you're taking money out of Chase Bank and you watch for people, you know, who follow you from there. There's, you know, especially holidays are coming up.
Yeah, that is.
You always hear stuff then too about people following people home.
Well, this is Texas. We can pack heat.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness,
Thank
right?
Goodness.
So you know, you were mentioning, you know, obviously marketing and everything and getting your brand out. You know, as a stud owner, you're not necessarily marketing to like Frenchie buyers. You're marketing to breeders. So what are some good like social media practices, say for somebody that owns a male or a female that you see or have had success with?
Quality of pictures, angles is huge on studs. If you want to get more exposure, they have these. They have dog shows. You can take them. You can take them to the dog shows where they line up all the ones competing for best in show and stuff like that. They have the Frenchie Bulls in Dallas is a big one. They have one here that comes to NRG every year. So
I need to bring Luca to that.
That's a good way to get you you know, seen and meet new people and network.
Yeah.
So
but so that's a good way. But I mean, as far
angles,
as like social media,
angles, picture quality, like you were talking about earlier, the reels to get the views.
Yeah.
You know, if you just get traffic to your page, the more people who see it, the better.
Sure.
So and all your hashtags.
Yeah.
What you're doing in
hashtags. You gotta feed the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So as far as paid marketing on like Meta or Facebook, Instagram, have you had success with that, or
I did.
Okay,
I had a lot of success.
Tell me some stories.
I had a lot of success on Instagram. With, you know, I'd pay $400 to boost my post. I could pick what states I wanted to boost it in. So I just
you can really hone in on the
I would
demographics.
just do surrounding states, you know, of Texas. So like New Mexico, Oklahoma, Louisiana. But you're not supposed to sell animals on Instagram. So you have to be very careful of your wording, you know, on how you're doing that.
Yeah.
Or you know, say availability, or you just have to watch your words and how you word stuff, because you'll and haters will report you if they see you're doing good.
Yeah.
Back when I had my account was at 15,000 followers on Instagram, all natural. I didn't pay for a single follower. And I was selling, back when I had 3 litters at one time, I think I sold 7 dogs in a week off Instagram for good money. And then somebody, I don't know, somebody reported me.
Yeah.
And what did I ever do? I think I just put the big eyes in that house, like looking for a home. And I think somebody reported me there.
Oh man!
But I never got my account back, so I had to start all over and you know, build my following base. I lost all that badass content and the pictures and the cute stuff and all my, you know, all the starting out stuff, all my starting out of those, you know. And
the beginning of your journey,
and I didn't save all those pictures either.
Ooh.
So
there's some advice: save all your content, back it up on a drive.
Absolutely.
Once you take the picture, you know, you want to keep your phone free with the memory, so back it up.
Yeah,
that's one thing that we do here is we try. But file organization is my next task.
So it's super important to because I was, you know, I was sad when I lost all that content. It was good content. And
dude, did you do the when you said $400? Were you doing like a day spend or like
it was over the week? I think I did like 5 to 7 days.
Yeah.
Where it would just sponsor ads, you know, and just show up on people's feeds and stuff like that. But you can pick, you know, for it to run 4 days or for it to run 10 days, whatever you want.
Would you recommend spending less per day and more days, or more per day and fewer days? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you just go with one big dump, or would you just like try to slow drip it over like a month? If you had $500 to spend, would you do a 5-day campaign, or would you do a 30-day campaign with less, you know, impact of daily?
I would say I would say probably split it up and switch it up. Like change it every 5 days. If you're gonna do a 30-day one, do stretch it out and change it.
Okay. So changing the images and everything?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
So maybe just do 4 or 5 days at a time, then switch it up with new images, new puppies and stuff like that. I would say to do that.
So I've heard that as well. As far as us marketing this business was, not creating a ad specific, but using your existing, stuff that's already gotten engagement.
Right.
And then, boosting that one and kind of, it's like A/B testing, I guess, if you will, of, which one's performing well to kind of even almost see what your audience is looking for. Right.
Yep.
You post one with music or, a video or just a still, right? Or carousel still, something like that.
Yep. And knowing
once you
the
figure it
market,
out, they change the algorithm.
Knowing the market too, and what cities or what states are the prices may be higher, and you can come in there with a better quality dog for less money than what they're asking for these other dogs. So which San Antonio I think is a big, it's kind of booming for Frenchies right now too. I think so.
San Antonio, how'd you find that out? Or
I saw somebody contacted me. I sold the dog there, and him and his wife were just like, we've been looking in San Antonio, but the quality isn't as good, and they want way too much for them. So I said, so then you kind of hear that.
Time to pounce.
Target market them.
There you go. Okay, so then you relocate your geo.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. If you get information, and you talk to a couple customers and see, just direct it towards there. Just funnel it all towards there.
Nice.
Where you can sell your dogs for the price you want and, better quality and come in what these other competitors are asking. Yeah.
Okay. Right on. So, last question, man, before we hit it, dude, and thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
The, regulatory measures and legal considerations, kind of a disclaimer at the end of the show. Buyer beware. Give them, your synopsis, as far as existing regulations, what kind of homework do they need to do governing French Bulldog breeding? I mean, the necessity for stricter laws to prevent unethical practices. And then also, what would you like to see as far as regulation for somebody that does it ethically?
AKC was trying to pass something last year that would only allow 5 or 6 dogs in a household. You couldn't have 10 or 12, like you're only supposed to have in your possession.
Got it.
You can own them.
You're having to like maybe move to a business structured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spot. Yeah. Not in your home.
Something that obviously brings more inspections and everything like that.
Sure. Or you could do it to, you give one of these females to one of your friends and just say, hey, so they're not kept at your residence. You just, let me know when they're in heat. I'll come get them. I'll do the testing. We'll do the breeding, get them back for 2 months. And when it's time to have puppies, I'll keep them and whelp them. Yeah. So the females are kind of spread out and they're not all at your house.
So that's a way for maybe someone wanting to, own a Frenchie, get in there and volunteer their space or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
so there's avenues to get in there and enjoy
with less money. Some of these breeders will work with you, and I'm one that I would I have a couple friends who have a couple of my adult females, and that's what we have lined out, and they they love it. They get a break from their dog for a couple months out of the year, and I get a litter of puppies and.
And how do you maintain? I mean, obviously they're your friends, so you've vetted them as far as how your dog's going to be treated. But in an instance that maybe you're offering that service to a breeder, how are you going to not convince but prove to them that you're fit to do it? I mean, what kind of characteristics would you look for in an ownership like that?
Somebody who communicates really well, sends you pictures, is on top of answering your questions, how the dog's doing.
For sure.
They got to be on top of telling you when they started their heat, so you can be on top of scheduling the blood tests to find out when they're exactly ready to breed, so you don't miss their
window
post ovulation. Yep, is definitely a big thing to look at. Proximity, like
closeness to you, right?
You don't. It's hard to work with somebody who
different city.
Yeah, you could make it work, but it just you just have to be on your communications. You can line everything up when it's time to go.
Nice.
And back to the AKC stuff and the regulations. I think limiting how many dogs you can have at the house. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It would maybe reduce some of these breeders who are just trying to turn out every dog and overbreeding their females,
unsanitary
and just trying to make a buck and saturate the market and bring the prices down. I think it's.
And what are some of those, questions as a buyer that you'd ask a breeder that you think is a good, to help these people go to market and feel confident they're buying from a good breeder?
If you're gonna breed, make sure you get the 4-panel. Make sure they're 4-panel health clear.
Yeah.
Just so you won't have any issues, and you should be a responsible breeder too. If you buy a dog and you find out that after the first breeding, like some of the puppies have issues, check your male, check your female, and see where that's coming from.
Hereditary
and don't use that dog. Try to keep the breed as healthy as possible, and don't keep breeding a dog that's going to have issues.
Yeah.
So.
And as a buyer though, so like say I'm wanting to buy my first Frenchie, what are some good questions to ask a breeder, and what are some red flags that I would see that would tell me to run away from that breeder? And what are some gold mines that you see, like, I've got a good one?
Definitely ask, mom and dad, 4-panel health cleared. Ask about their, ask them to send you, if you want structure, have them FaceTime you, have them send side pictures, every angle of the dog you want. So, you're not, when you get the dog, you're not getting a tall, lanky one, you're getting the short, squatty one that you want.
Aside from the dog looking good, though, but the breeder themselves, like, how do I get the warm and fuzzies from a breeder? I know I'm buying from a good breeder.
It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like, how I picked my tattoo artist, just go in there and get a vibe from them. Talk to them.
Do you have tattoos?
Talk to them and get to know them a little bit before, just buying a random one off Craigslist. Ask your friends or ask somebody you see out and about. Oh, if you like that Frenchie, say, oh, hey, where'd you get it?
Who's the breeder?
Nowadays you can just check Instagram, just Google or, Frenchies Houston. If they have a website, you're going to find them, and just do your research.
For sure.
Just if they have good reviews, you're going to know. Word of mouth is always good. But just do your research, vet the seller. And
would you ever ask to say, hey, has anyone ever asked you to say, hey, maybe can I contact one of your clients to
No, I don't think that, but that's why I post a lot of stuff on Instagram. That's why people,
because you're always posting pictures of the families of the owners,
posts and
sharing.
reposts, and then if somebody wanted to, they could contact them, because I always tag them.
Yeah,
so they could be hey,
so there's full transparency.
How was your experience? I don't mind that at all. Like,
nice.
Please look at that. Please look at their content. See what they post, and what you said. Make more informational stuff on like the day-to-day stuff that I don't post, like putting coconut oil on their nose or in between their paws if they're itchy, and like allergies,
cherry eye.
Like cherry eye. I had to get one removed on both of Coco. She had one in each.
You helped me figure that out.
We popped it back in, and it never had an issue again.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah,
none.
So that's the cherry eyes.
Those are the things I think you've got value that you need to share with the world, and because then, now people are going to your page once they own a Frenchie.
For information now, too. No,
then they fall in love with the Frenchies, and they're going to buy their next one from you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, I've got nothing but good feedback from, you can't breed his attitude. So, but as far as looks and structure, I know every time you come over, you love to spend time with him. I love
both of them.
And
I have Lily's sister too.
Yeah, so that's the other cool thing is like Lily. We bought their siblings. And
we bought them the same day. I bought mine first.
Yeah. You got yours
and
first.
You loved her.
I know. And then there's Sophia. She got that was the night that image that he has, and we'll roll that one. But the night that we picked her up.
Oh my gosh, she was because Chloe's your dog.
Yeah, Chloe's my baby.
Chloe's yours.
My baby.
So Sophia needed her own.
Yes,
and,
she did.
And I'll never forget. Yeah, the night you sent me that picture, and we were. I stopped by and showed you Boba in the pool, and
Oh gosh, yeah. You brought Boba.
You knew the seller. You worked with.
Yeah, no, I introduced you,
Eric. Yeah. Yep.
So I introduced you to Eric. Him, he had posted something on Instagram, and
you sent it to me, and
I sent it to you. And
I'm building my kennel.
And then you were like, dude, these dogs are good looking, and
good.
I think it was the last two of
what
his
he's
litter.
asking for. Yeah, he was asking a good number for him too.
Yeah. So we got him at a good number, and then come along a year later, you bring Luca over to the house, and Sophia was like, nope, this one's not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to do. You just need to target your friends that have kids.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because man, do you remember the sign she made on the door? Like she put she's like, puppy inside sleeping.
Oh, I do remember that.
Do not enter.
Yeah, on the spread better. The one your mom says it. Yes.
Yeah, it was so cute. But then I was like, I can't say no.
I was like, I gotta go and look.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, you need to come by and pay him a visit, and maybe bring a friend or two over and let those little 4-pack rumble.
I'll bring the big rope Rojo and Tan girl.
But you're busy right now. You've got how many litters are you whelping right now?
I'm 2 of mine, and then one for somebody else.
So 3 total. How many total dogs?
7, 6, 19.
Wow.
Yep. Lost a couple, but that was from, I think, aspiration. So it was. I always take the losses tough.
Yeah, I bet. And I know you do.
And it's you just gotta. It's gonna happen. You just have to take solace in knowing you did everything you could. You caught it and you tried to treat it.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunately it's part of life.
It's sad. It is part of life. But
they're not all gonna make it. You just want the big percentage of them to make it. And that's why people stop doing it all themselves and leave it to whelpers. And those whelpers have to know how to do things in those situations.
They have to react.
And they have to tube feed a dog if necessary and be comfortable with that. And they have to tube feed it every 2 hours.
Wow.
So,
well, God bless them.
So much to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not all money.
It's not cool trucks and wraps.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. If you're doing it all yourself, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And but it's like the picture I showed you today, where the one was dressed up in the poncho and the sunglasses and the hat. Like
that's the
stuff,
reward, bro.
It just when you get those random texts from your buyers and your customers, it just makes your day.
Oh, of course,
it's just awesome.
I mean, you get to see your product being brought to life.
Grow up,
grow up,
grow up and be spoiled, and that's all we want.
Well, next time I need someone to watch those 2 little, what do I call them? The turd burglars.
What do you call them?
No,
rockets. What?
What? Yes. No. Oh man.
Something rocket, isn't it?
The turd missiles.
Turd missiles. There you go.
Yes, turd missiles. Yeah, because Luke is just all yoked up, and he just. Oh man, he's funny as hell. But they're good dogs, man. Thanks for taking the time because
for sure.
I know there's tons of people out there that are looking to buy, that are interested, and it's fun to learn about the whole culture behind it and all the hard work that goes into it, and why they're Like I always bitched about a pound of crab legs, but now that I know what they go through to get those crab legs,
you want to, C-sections cost $1,000. So you gotta shots for 6 puppies cost, $150, $200 for every set you get them.
Well, thanks for coming on and educating everybody, brother. Always good to see you, man.
Good seeing you, dude.
Well, y'all take it easy. Fairway Frenchies. Go give them a follow on Instagram.